Good day and welcome to Conversations with AARP in the Virgin Islands. I'm Troy Deshabert Schuster, State Director of AARP in this territory. And once again, it's a great pleasure to be with you. We hope that all of you are remaining healthy and away or free from COVID 19. Please remember to exercise all precautions and wash your hands, especially, and wear those face masks. Today, we're joined by two very special guests. We have with us Commissioner Kimberly Causey Gomez, Commissioner of the Department of Human Services, and also with us, Director of Asset Management for the Virgin Islands Housing Authority, Jimmy Farmer. Good day. Welcome to the show.
Good day, Troy. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being with us, and welcome, Jimmy. Your first time on our show. We hope this will be the first of many other appearances with us on Conversations with AARP in the Virgin Islands. And we're having some technical difficulties with Jimmy. I think you're muted. Yes, there you are. Okay, please proceed.
All right. I would say on behalf of the Virgin Islands Housing Authority, we appreciate the invite.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. And so, as we were discussing prior to the show, there are probably some questions in people's minds as to how does Human Services and the Virgin Islands Housing Authority interact? It seems to be like a bit of an overlap there. In my humble opinion, I thought that maybe housing came under Human Services. But can you explain the differences to us, either one of you?
Sure. Well, I'll allow Jimmy to go first to talk a little bit about the overall arching what housing authority is, because it's very different than Human Services. We actually support some of the residents in some of the facilities. So Jimmy, why don't you just give a quick overview of housing authority and what you do?
Absolutely, Commissioner, and thank you again. So the Virgin Islands Housing Authority, our main goal is to house people within the territory. That's between St. Thomas, St. John District, and also St. Croix. We do have developments that have a high population of seniors living within the community. Those for St. Croix particularly, Joseph E. James, Wilfred Pedro, you may know it as Wim Garden. And then for St. Thomas, you have Lucinda Millen. And so since some of those communities have a large population of elderly individuals living there, the community resources, particularly what the Department of Health, the Department of Human Services offers, are services that go far and beyond what regular management may be able to do on a day-to-day basis, such as Medicare management. If there's a need for our elderly population to have meals, we reach out to the resources within the community to be able to provide the services to our valued residents.
Okay, so now you mentioned certain homes for the elderly or assisted living communities, actually assisted living communities, right? So Lucinda Millen would be an assisted living community, is that correct?
So, and just to be clear, these are public housing developments. So these are not the normal assisted living communities. When you think about assisted living communities, you have services that the residents are able to take advantage of on a daily basis, such as medication management, food prepared daily for the residents. For public housing developments, the services that you would normally get in an assisted living community are not necessarily offered in the public housing developments. However, if we notice that residents who are living in these developments are able to take advantage of some of the community services that are offered, our job for the Virgin Islands Housing Authority perspective is to be able to connect our valued residents to the services within the territory to create that win-win resolution.
Okay. And so now switching to Human Services, then what do you all do with regard to housing and the elderly?
So there's different stages for our elder population. So you have that first stage of active and well, and they're independent, and they really don't need a lot of support. Maybe their families are doing great. Maybe they're volunteering their time. They're very active in their lifestyle. You're starting to slow down, and they may have their own senior type apartment. They don't really need a lot of assistance still, but there's some fall prevention. Maybe there's some medication management. Then they kind of get into the, supportive of the daily living and the daily functioning. And that's kind of more like a retirement type of place. And that's where, maybe your social programs like our senior centers may come in place. We have a senior volunteer program that, helps with the employment purposes. And then we have Meals on Wheels, our nutrition programs. And as you kind of keep going, maybe your health is declining a little bit more. Maybe you need assisted living or memory care. And so your adult daycare programs, that kind of thing. And then you get into your long-term care, your skilled nursing facilities, which right now we don't have a skilled nursing facility. And that's what Human Services is working towards. We have the 2 homes for the aged, like Troy, Queen Louise home for the aged in St. Thomas and Herbert Gregg home for the aged in St. Croix. And right now we're in the midst of really trying to expand both of those 60-bed facilities and become a skilled nursing facility that's certified by CMS or the certified Medicare and Medicaid. So then that way we are able to expand the services that we give. Right now, because it's more retirement, we provide nursing and nutrition there. But when it gets to really the long-term effects, that's really what we really want to, our goal, our ultimate goal. How we work with housing now, I sit on the board as commissioner. I sit on the board of commissioners on Housing Authority. So I'm actually at every meeting every month. And so we review everything that's been happening. And they've had a lot of damage, through the storms and stuff, and still rebuilding aspects of things. So a lot of times their resident managers? What is the term, Jimmy, that's correct on that?
Property managers.
So they may refer, so they may see someone that may need assistance. So they may need nutrition or somebody to check on their medication or some home or personal care. And so they'll do a referral for us. And so maybe Lucinda Millen may have 60 people, and maybe we only are serving maybe 10 or 12 of those 60. The others are doing just fine. It's just a few that may need assistance. I think one of the biggest gaps, Troy, for us is right now is there's not enough of the levels or the stages in the territory to cover all the needs that we have. And there's a lot of people that do live alone that have a little bit of support by family, but it's a gap for us within our community. It's not a Human Services, it's not a housing authority, it's actually a gap for our territory.
That is a significant gap. And, one of my dreams has always been to see the Virgin Islands become a great retirement destination, right? You look at Southern Florida, and it's amazing how many retirees from all over the country flock to Southern Florida, and they do so much to enhance the entire economy, and they're working, they're active people, they have all the services and facilities we need. Could you imagine if the Virgin Islands could have become a retirement destination like that? And we do have the potential for that, right? And
I think we have potential. I think the health aspect has to be stronger.
Exactly. The whole spectrum, right? Starting off with our hospitals, all of our healthcare, assisted living communities offering different levels and different classes of service, et cetera. And we could do so well with that. And so in summary, going back to something you said a moment ago, Commissioner Gomez, you pointed out that we don't have any skilled nursing facilities in the Virgin Islands, but that you're working toward that. And we're so happy to hear that. And again, for our listening public, a skilled nursing facility is a facility that has been certified by CMS, right? So that they can bill Medicare and Medicaid for their clients' care. And so we need that here in the Virgin Islands. And I'm so happy to hear that you're working toward that. And hopefully in the future also building a stronger partnership with the Housing Authority so that you can really cover that whole spectrum from people who may need no assistance to just a little assistance all the way to full skilled nursing. That'll be fantastic.
Well, the other part that's exciting is that you can't do that until you know what you have, right? And so luckily under the Brian Roach administration, they've done a huge Healthy Horizons and Healthy Housing initiative where they're actually did an assessment of senior living, behavioral health, and some of our youth programs to get a comprehensive look of where we are and where those stages, where we're missing some things. And so we're right on the cusp of that. We've had some wonderful people in our community that have participated in those task force. Dr. Julia Sheen, our policy advisor, has been helping with that under the Office of the Governor. And Brian Roach administration has been amazing when it comes to the support of finding where we are in order for we know where we go, because the data is really important.
It is. It is. And I'm so happy that the governor, our Governor Brian, has started this Healthier Horizons and especially the Healthy Housing Initiative. By the way, AARP, we're part of that. We serve on that task force, and it's a great honor to be at the table. Now, can you tell us, starting first of all with Director Farmer, what ideas, what plans do you all have on the table or on the horizon, as the case may be, for working together with the Department of Human Services to enhance housing for our older population here?
Great question. And Commissioner brought up a very good point. With the territory experiencing an increase in our aging population, the Virgin Islands Housing Authority has a very robust asset repositioning plan, which does include building housing for our aging population, both in St. Thomas and St. Croix. Currently, the agency has roughly 3,000 public housing units. We're looking to decrease that footprint between both territories to about 1,500 to include utilization of vouchers for individuals to go to different developments. And with the infrastructure that we have left, the units that we have left online, those will be revitalized. And so again, because we do recognize that the territory has an aging population, a lot of our new developments will be comprised of units for that particular population as well. And she also mentioned the lack of... Go ahead.
No, I was waiting for you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. She also mentioned... Commissioner also mentioned that there was a lack of skilled nursing facilities, and that's very true. With the territory having such an increase in an aging population, we really need to be looking at territory-wide. And again, as she mentioned, it's not a housing authority issue, it's not a Department of Human Services issue. It is a territory issue that we have to recognize and make sure that we're putting policies and procedures in place that really does help the aging population, such as having these skilled nursing facilities, and to include the assisted living communities with the memory care units as well.
Memory care, very important, especially as we see a rise in dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So very important. And going back again to what you said earlier, Director, you mentioned that the Virgin Islands is about to decrease from 3,000 housing units to about 1,500, and then giving vouchers to people to go to other facilities. So are these other facilities privately owned, government subsidized facilities? Am I correct in assuming that?
Correct. Or if there's a private landlords that they wanted to opt to move into, that would be an option as well. We're not positioned to be able to build that overnight. This is a long-term plan for the agency, but we have began both in St. Thomas and St. Croix with our repositioning plan.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Commissioner Gomez?
Well, I'm so excited, I can't even stand it. So one of the things that is going to be, we really want people to be able to stay home, because you really, if you're hearing it, I want to stay home and I want to age at home. And so how do I do that? And so one of the things with our Medicaid program that's coming up is we're launching a personal home care attendant program. It's going to be like a small business type of program, but it's funded by Medicaid. And so it'll be expanded by our Medicaid dollars, and it'll also expand employment opportunities in the territory for those that are licensed personal care attendants. And so for me, that allows for somebody that is kind of able-bodied but just needs some personal care assistance at home. It just allows them to stay home, because really that's what we want, to be able to age gracefully in your own environment, surrounded by the people that you love.
Yes, I so appreciate you saying that. AARP has a longstanding policy that we support aging in place.
Yes.
Way of saying aging at home, and we find that there are a lot better outcomes for people who are aging at home. Their health tends to be better, more robust. We see less depression, etc. So I'm so happy that you are looking for ways to facilitate that by providing in-home assistance. And also, one thing that we are real great proponents of at AARP is what we call home fit, making sure that homes are fit for aging in place, that you can get into your bathroom, that you can use a shower in the bathroom if you become non-ambulatory or bound to a wheelchair, that you can move a wheelchair from room to room, that the doorways are wide enough, and so forth. And so, can you speak to that a little bit, Commissioner Gomez? And are you thinking of any ways to facilitate that for individuals who are already in a home that may not be really fit for aging in place?
Well, I think the accommodations aspect of it, like you just said. In fact, I was just talking to someone yesterday. They were like, I have my parents home. I want to keep them here, but I need a larger bathroom to accommodate the wheelchair. I need a roll-in shower to accommodate that, and what funds are available. So I think we're going to have to be looking for some grant money specifically to help with the accessibility and the accommodation. So that way it actually helps the person, they're happier at home or with whoever they're with, or their family. So if we can make those accommodations. I don't have any funding right now to accommodate that, but I think that that's a great next step as we're through this.
Yes, yeah, very important. We at AARP, we were supportive and actually proposed a bill called Livability, the Livability Act.
Okay.
And what that bill provides, and it's law here in the Virgin Islands now for several years, anybody who wants to retrofit their home, even as simple as just putting a handicap bar on the wall near the toilet, or installing a handicap size or disabled size toilet, if they go through the Department of Planning and Natural Resources and get a permit to do the work, and it should be a very simple permitting process, then they can experience a 10% discount on their real property tax for 5 years, by just making the house a little more livable for somebody who is disabled, or more visitable for somebody who's disabled. So it's a really great thing that people should be aware of and take advantage of. And it's a small help, but it's a help nonetheless to getting a home retrofitted. And in some cases, that discount can cover the entire cost of the retrofit, if it's, again, something as simple as putting handicap bars in the bathroom.
Or ramp, that's the other part of it too. Is like, especially here, because we have some real older buildings too. And so they may be, so having that ramp to get in and out easily. We have that. My grandmother lived with us for a long time. And so we had a 2-story house, and so our dining room became her bedroom. And so, getting her up and down the stairs and how to do that, we didn't have a ramp. So we had a lot of fun with her. I think she had fun, but my mom was like, "What are you doing to Grandma?" But we had a good time.
Yes, and Director Farmer, yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, for the Housing Authority, we recognize that a large portion of our residents are aging in place. And so if there's a situation where someone is in need of a particular reasonable accommodation, whether it is the addition of handicap accessible bars or a ramp, the Virgin Islands Housing Authority works to ensure that we accommodate that particular reasonable accommodation. And if we have to, we will relocate those residents to a unit that fits that particular reasonable accommodation that they are looking for.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I was just about to put you on the spot, which I usually don't like to do, but I was going to ask you that kind of a question.
Life happens.
Very, very good. I'm glad to hear that. And so, um, pursuant to that, then, who would an individual contact within your department, Director Farmer, if they need some help in making accommodations?
So it starts at the property management office if a resident or if a family member comes in and speaks on behalf of the resident, because there are situations where our elderly population may not be able to come into the office and they have appointed a family member or friend as their power of attorney. They come into the office, speak with the property manager. It's put in writing. That information is then escalated up to our Department of Modernization to assist with meeting that particular reasonable accommodation need.
Okay, now help me understand better. These are for residents in one of your facilities, correct?
Correct. One of our apartment communities. Correct. That is correct.
Right. So now I'll still go ahead and put you on the spot. What about for somebody who is not in one of your facilities but wants to age at home, but may need some financial help to make a small accommodation? And keeping in mind that helping in that small way can really save the government lots of money in the long run. Have you all thought of ways to help people who are in their own home who may need some financial help making an accommodation to stay in place?
So for the Virgin Islands Housing Authority, because we are under federal policies and regulations, there is a little there are policies that we have to adhere to. And unfortunately, if you are not a public housing resident and you're seeking assistance to have your current dwelling accommodated for a particular reasonable accommodation, the funds that the Virgin Island Housing Authority receives cannot be utilized outside of our agency. Let's say if someone's even on our waiting list and they're currently in a home and they're not receiving any type of housing choice voucher assistance, the funds that the Housing Authority has cannot be utilized to assist that family. However, if it's a resident who is within the public housing development, we will work to make sure that we meet that reasonable accommodation request.
Excellent, excellent. And back to you, Commissioner Gomez. Looking at the whole process of developing a skilled nursing facility here in the Virgin Islands, hopefully one in each island, what does your timeline look like? I know it's a huge project. I know that getting CMS certified is monumental, but what timeline have you set for your department?
It's between 3 and 5 years fully. So if you look at Herbert Gregg Home, for example, right now we can, our residents, we have right now we just got 24 residents, but we can hold like 25 or 26. Our ultimate goal is 60-bed facility. So both of our homes were severely damaged in 2017 with Irma and Maria. Not a little bit, but severely damaged. And so it's going to have to be a blend of funding. So we've done the CDBG, or the Community Development Block Grant disaster funding. We've applied for that. Then we'll apply for hazard mitigation funding and some PA money to see if we can get a comprehensive. It's going to be about a $30 million project. It's not like a $6 or $7 million project. It's a comprehensive, all-out skilled nursing facility. Then you have to ensure that once you build it, we know that people will come once you build it, right? Mm-hmm. But making sure that we have the skilled labor in order to ensure that that is part of that plan, right? So it's not just about the facility itself and becoming certified, but what about all the services that are in it? So luckily we, with the Office of the Governor and Dr. Julian and the Governor and Senator, we're able to really assess what that looks like. We've had a lot of internal hard work about where we are and where we need to go. So 3 to 5 years, potentially. I'd like to break ground a lot earlier. It's also complex, Troy. So if you already have existing project worksheets with FEMA, and then you do any temporary repairs, and then you have another plan coming down the pike, so sometimes there is some conversations we have to ensure that it is not supplanting, but supplementing type of thing. So that it's been a little bit tricky for both. And then the other thing is that what do you do with your residents while you're building, right? So for Queen Louise, we would have to if we were to keep Queen Louise where it is, we wouldn't be able to have our residents there. That is not going to be able to be a facility that, even if I was to build it right there and expand it, I could take 60 beds. So we actually are looking at another property to be a state-of-the-art brand new one. And then Herbert Grigg will be a combination of new construction and renovation. So we're really excited about it. I think that this is something that our territory needs desperately, and it will suit a lot of different needs. We have a lot of boarders at our hospital. When I say boarders, that means that they are not able to do a safe discharge, right? And it could be because they don't have anybody at home to care for them, or maybe they're just recovering from knee surgery or some kind of surgery. They just need a month or two for rehab. But because they can't go home, they are in the hospital. And that's the highest cost of a daily rate for someone. So it's cost effective for the government eventually to have.
Right. We're almost out of time, but just one last quick question. In listening to Director Farmer, he mentioned that people can even get vouchers and go and live in privately owned homes and so forth. Now, looking at these skilled nursing facilities and realizing that the government can't do everything for everybody, have you all considered maybe giving some private companies some incentive to build skilled nursing facilities here in the territory? Has that been part of the thought?
One thing that the Virgin Islands Housing Authority is looking at as we look at some of the new developments that we're venturing into is being able to have those wraparound services for our aging populations in place at those particular communities that service our aging population. And one other thing that Commissioner brought out relative to the plans that they have relative to the new facilities is, from the Housing Authority's perspective, is also ensuring that our residents who are currently living in our public housing developments are also put in a position where they have an opportunity to be able to apply for some of these jobs that may be coming up in these skilled nursing facilities. So the Housing Authority, we have a resident services program that will assist with connecting our residents to the resources in terms of education to be able to be competitive for some of the jobs that may be coming online for these communities that the Department of Human Services is working to get online.
Excellent. And you have about 30 seconds for any final comments, Commissioner Gomez?
Never enough time with you, Troy. I have to thank my staff because they're always awesome. They're front lines essential workers, and we've been working through COVID, and we are always ready to partner. So not only with Housing Authority, with AARP, but anybody. So we're truly appreciative of the time today. So please have us back.
Oh, absolutely. You'll be back again and again. And this is your second time with us, Commissioner Gomez. You're first with us, Director Farmer. We hope to see you again. We're out of time, but again, thank you both for clearing some time on your busy calendar to be with us and to discuss this important issue of housing for our older population in the Virgin Islands. Thanks again so much, and have a great day.
Thanks, you too.